This weekend, Ryan is portaging, Andy is buying benches, and we do some light housework on the GameCube. I'm Ryan,
I'm Andy.
and this is Weekend Rental, episode 212. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Weekend Rental Podcast. Andy, how are you doing? I actually get to see you in person.
Yeah, wasn't that weird?
Yeah, it's so strange that I know we do this every 2 weeks, but we see each other like once a year at MGC.
Yep. No, that was good.
Yeah. So we got to get together, and our friend Ben that we mentioned a few episodes back earlier this summer, they had a celebration of life. So went and did that, ran into some old friends, talked to CJ from Replay Games or Post Replay Games. So yeah, it was a nice gathering. It was nice to see some people come out for that. So
yep. Had an arcade cabinet out there. Yeah. Game stuff.
Definitely very game focused.
Yep.
And then we just talked about games for 2 hours, so for the most part. So
pretty much, great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was a good excuse to meet up with some old friends, so and pay respects to when we lost. But yeah, I was a little nervous, to be honest, with that thing, because like I'm so introverted. I was like, God, this is gonna be like horribly awkward, but it was okay. So
yep. Yeah. You always wonder, most of it's going to be family, right? So it's kind of like when you go to a wedding and you try not to be too much of an asshole because
you don't know who you're talking to.
You don't, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and his parents were nice people. Mom talked to us quite a bit, so I think she was just excited to see other gamers show up and people she didn't recognize. So,
yep.
Yeah, and then we got to go check out Drecker, which, I mean, we hit happy hour even. I mean, happy hour at Drecker, that's saves you like $10.
Yep. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I still love that brewery. So going there this weekend for Drecker Fest and that Motion City soundtrack show. So I'm sure the kids are going to hate that, but I'm making them go anyway because it's free and I want to go. So
yep.
I was looking at the times in that though, because they were like really like cagey about announcing when that was going to happen, and like finally rolled out the times, and it's like music starts at 7, but Motion City soundtrack doesn't take the stage until like 9:30. I was like,
really?
Damn, that's gonna be a late night.
Huh.
And I'm pretty sure the noise ordinances are like 10:30. I don't know if you can do an outdoor concert past that. I'm not sure. Maybe they can get by with like 11, but it'll be interesting.
Huh. So just local openers, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, it wasn't anybody I'd heard of anyway. So
yeah,
I'm sure it's gonna be an absolute zoo. But we'll see. It should be fun regardless, as long as the weather holds up. I think it's supposed to be like 80 something now, but by that time at night, it should be down to like 50.
Yeah, I was planning on going, but this weekend's turning into a whole other beast now.
Yeah, it'd be a late night for you guys too. Like, if that thing doesn't end until almost 11, so then you gotta drive a couple hours on top of that. Yeah, we'll see. I text a few other people too, just let them know what was going on. So I think some people might show up. We'll see. You know how that goes. Everybody has plans and things change. So
yeah, this time of year really sucks for that, for any type of trying to do anything, because there's so much stuff you got to do to wrap up before it gets too cold.
Yeah, 100%. And then it's like hell season for me, because now it's like I got an anniversary coming up, which I saw you guys had an anniversary. Congrats. And then I got anniversary, birthday, Thanksgiving, birthday, Christmas, New Year's. So it's like I'm basically shot for the talk to me in January. I'll have some time.
Yep.
So we'll see. It'll be a busy few months.
After like 2 years of trying to finish my basement and trying just to get people in there to do stuff, it's finally shaping up to be now where I have to do the rest of the work. We'll see how fast I can.
They were doing drywall and stuff though, right?
Yep.
So that's at least done for you?
Yeah, there's a few more coats of like taping and or
Oh no, that's the worst
evening
part. That's
out.
the part you want to hire for. You have to finish
Right?
that,
Yeah.
or they're going to do it.
No, they're gonna do it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I hired somebody else to do that because I can't. I'm not gonna do tape and texturing and all that. That's just I hate that
No,
stuff.
that is a
I can never
nightmare.
get it. But I did put some new windows in this last week, and
Nice.
that was interesting. That you start taking the siding off, and all the flanges where the nail, you nail the window to the wall,
Yeah.
were all broken off. So if you would have leaned on those windows,
Oh
it
my
would have just
God.
fell right out.
That's
Yeah,
scary.
yeah.
Huh.
So I'm glad I replaced them, but
Yeah, no kidding. So I suppose you get the drywall done, you'll paint, and then you'll do the flooring, or what's your plan of
yeah,
attack? Yeah. Gonna do like laminate, or what's your plan?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I have to figure out how to do some leveling of the concrete a little bit. I think in some spots, but
Sure. That self-leveling concrete, when I've used it in spots in my basement's pretty easy. Especially if you use like the bonder, like it sets up pretty well.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm just more worried that I might have more high spots than
Oh.
dips to fill in, which might be a bigger issue. But
Well, worst case, I suppose you just go the lazy route and just do like padded back carpet, and then you don't really have to worry as much about that, other than like you'll notice it when you're walking a little bit. But
I've heard 2 layers of carpet is pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah. I was telling Andy before the show we went and looked at a house tonight, and it was looking pretty good. Then we get down to the basement, and I realized that like the floor was like not just kind of on level. It was like I'm standing on a high spot, and I can tell that corner over there is like 6 inches lower than where I'm at. And part of it was that they had these like carpet tiles on there that were like poorly done, and there were gaps everywhere. And then we pulled one up because they were loose, and we realized that these people just left the carpet that was underneath the carpet tiles and just put the carpet tiles on top of it, which makes no sense at all. And it explains why they weren't sticking to anything, because like they didn't even use like the right tape. It was like they just literally put masking tape under it. Like, it was just packing tape.
Just hoping it was going to stick to the strands of everything. Yeah.
I just don't get it. So like I saw that and I was like, yeah, I think I'm done here. Like if
Yeah.
this is what they consider a fix, I don't want to know what's going on with the rest of the house. There was already a couple spots upstairs where I was like, you could have just put caulking in there, and then that drywall wouldn't be all left up like around the shower. It was just like strange choices.
Well, you just put drywall on top of the old drywall.
That's true. Yeah. Or you just get like that pink sealer stuff and just coat it over everything and call it a day and just leave it. Yeah. So yeah, we're continuing our house viewing. We've kind of slowed down. Like realistically, I don't think we'll move over the winter because I don't want to sell and have nobody pays as much for a house over the winter. And we have a small house, and a lot of the appeal of it is the green space, which is hard to show off in North Dakota winters. So. So we'll see. Maybe something will pop up and it'll surprise me, but I'm not in a hurry, I guess. I've still got a house, so I'll be all right. But yeah, other than that, I did a backpacking trip since we last recorded. That was last weekend. My son and I went out to Maplewood State Park, which is about an hour out of Fargo on the Minnesota side. And we did this campsite once last year in October, and it was just too cold. Like the cold snap came in and it was getting it to freezing at night, and it just wasn't worth it. And the hike is kind of grueling. So my plan this time was you can portage and bring a boat in and then paddle across the lake and save yourself a ton of hiking. Way easier. But then you got to get the boat down to the lake, which is probably, I don't know if it's a half-mile hike, but it's at least a third of a mile. So yeah, with my 11-year-old son, everything's in a backpack, and then you got to carry the boats. So it just like, he wasn't having it. He's like, I can't lift the boat. I'm like, let's carry a boat one at a time. It's a kayak. Like you and me will each grab an end. We'll walk. We're making it like 10 feet. He just like cannot do it. And keep in mind, like I've load balanced our backpacks to the point where like he basically just has our clothes in his backpack, and I've got like probably close to 60 to 70 pounds of gear in mine with all the real stuff. And then I was like, he couldn't do it. So finally I was like, all right, at one point you cross a stream and then you get to grass, and then grass takes you up to the lake. The rest of the trail is grass. So I was like, all right, Let's get the boats across this little bridge and creek, and then we'll drag the boats. And then he can't even do that. He's throwing a fit about that. So finally, because I was like, it was a time crunch thing. It's like you can't check into your campsite, and you have to go into the main office to register. Can't do that until 4. And I didn't get there. I didn't leave for there until 4. So I probably got there like 5:15. And then to access the site that we're at, because it's remote, you have to drive about another 40 minutes around on like a minimum maintenance road outside of the park and then come back in. So like it was a race against the clock, right? So it's like, I got to get there before it gets dark. We can't pack in any wood. I mean, we could, but it'd be hell. So it's like, I know I got to set up camp. We got to get there. I got to find down trees that I can like cut firewood from. So it's like, he's just struggling. Finally, I was just like, I can't do this, man. So like, I had to grab both kayaks, pull both of them behind me, plus my backpack all the way down this trail, which I just did in one go. Cause I was like, if I stop, it's going to be hell. Like I might as well just grind my way through it. So we do that. I'm like already annoyed. Like I'm not taking it out on him, but I'm just like, buddy, like clock's ticking. Like we got to go. And then we get down to the lake, and this lake is, at one point it must have been very small. And the water levels have gone up, I would guess 20 feet probably, because this lake is like completely surrounded by like massive trees, even some way out in the lake. So it's like deadfall of trees all the way around. So on the side that comes off the trail that you need to drop in on, there's like no good spot to get to the water, because it's literally that many trees falling down in the water. So I have no choice but to then get wet, which I'm like, fine, whatever, I'll do it. So like I have to walk on a tree, get him in a kayak, figure out how I'm going to balance on a tree, not tip in, and whatever. We get to the campsite, and from there on out it was fine, but like, good Lord, that was an ordeal, like getting out there, and like we got it all done in the nick of time. And then that was Friday night. We spent 2 nights, and then like midday Saturday was beautiful out there. By evening, the wind was gone. It was like perfectly calm. So we had a nice campfire, and then fished some. That was pretty good. And then Sunday morning, it was just gorgeous. No wind at all. That entire lake, and it's the only campsite on that lake. There's no public access to the lake for putting a boat in or anything. It was as perfect as could be. And we got out and fished, and just, it was amazing. Like killed it. I bet we caught 20 northern in like 2 hours. I mean, it was unbelievable. So,
wow.
Great trip.
So did you have to do the whole ordeal with the boats on the way back?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, just, we packed in minimal amount of water. I brought some of those life straws to drink from the lake if I wanted to, but like I wasn't super keen on that, because like there's still a chance of giardia, and there's beaver in that lake. So, but yeah, the way back wasn't as bad, because it was like we drank all the water, we ate most of the food, so it was a lot easier on the way out. But still, at the same time, like you've been hoofing it out there, like you don't sleep that great camping, and then you're like, all right, time to go home, and now it's like, all right, we got to pack it all out again. I was wet up to my knees, because I had to find a spot where I could get out and not tip, and then get him in, and then walk back, get the kayaks, put the kayaks on the roof rack. Like I was so
well, at least
spent.
At least he didn't ask to be on the boat while you dragged it.
Yes. And then when we did get to the other side to like portage the boats out, he's like, okay, you're going to have to take him again. I just looked at him like I was going to kill him. Like I didn't even really say anything. And he just like stopped talking, like went up and started dragging his boat. So he at least got the boat on the way out, which was good. And everything was a lot lighter, but yeah, it's so much fun on that site though. I mean, you are literally out there by yourself. Like it's great. Like it's the perfect camp, I think, in my opinion. And we had a lot of wildlife. A couple of big swans came in. They sound like freaking jets when they come in and land in front of you, and all sorts of fun stuff. And then of course the campsite's got like a oak tree too. So like you're just paranoid that something's like jumping around you at night, when you forget that it's just like shooting like acorn rockets off everything. So like you're paranoid about what's in the bushes, and you're like, oh, it's just acorns. So yeah, it was a good time. Glad we did it. Glad the weather was good too. So, It was pretty entertaining though. We hiked to a different lake. There's that Beers Lake at this campground. That's like, it's one of the best muskie fisheries in Minnesota, and they stock it with muskie and stuff. So it's popular for fishing, and they do like rentals of, like they've got like 3 small boats, like little John boats that you can like row it with the oars. And I see this group of like foreign tourists. I don't know where they were from, if they were like Japanese or clearly Asian somewhere they were coming in from. And I watched 6 of them cram into a boat that probably at best is only meant for like 3 people. And then only the women had life jackets and all of the men had nothing. And I was just like, guys, like Game and Fish is out here all the time. Like if you get pulled over, that's like, I think it's like $150 per person without a flotation device.
Yeah.
I'm like, that
but
is
to
not...
be fair, I mean, at least the weight, I mean, they're probably half the weight of an average American too.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's probably part of it. But yeah, the life jacket thing, that's a bad deal.
Yeah. It was just funny. They went on and did some fishing on it. I didn't see if they ever caught anything, but yeah. Yeah, it was a really good trip. I'm glad we got to squeeze it in. I was trying to do it during the summer and we just ran out of time. So caught the tail end of it, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good park for sure, especially this time of year when it's fall. Yeah.
Fall. And I didn't realize like they had completed a bunch of new stuff too. Like it looks like they've got all new paved bike trails throughout the whole thing. So I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. It'd be fun to take the family and haul our bikes. Yeah,
you can go from there all the way to Perham now.
Really?
On a bike trail. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see that place getting some funding because like it always just felt like a missed opportunity because like, you know, there's a lot of great nature there, but they didn't even have like paved roads to a lot of stuff for a while, and now it seems like they must have gotten some budgeting somewhere. So
yeah,
or at least they did. Maybe that ended now. I don't know. I
mean, that's coming from Fargo. That's one of the better places to go. You know, I mean,
yeah,
Buffalo River is okay, but it's not as good as Maplewood for sure.
Right. Yeah, you got like 4 lakes right there. Yeah, it's cool. I know they got a new shower house too, like, which is always nice when you're camping. Like obviously you don't think of like having a shower when you're camping usually, but it's nice that they've got like a nice facility to do it. So yeah, it was good. It was funny. I packed a couple NA beers for my kid because I'm like, you know, I'll do the cool dad thing where you like dad gives you a beer or something. Like, well, I'm not going to do a full beer, so I bring NA. He just hated him, which is great. Like I like that he hated him, but just kind of funny. He's like, am I going to get sick? I'm like, no, there's like 0.5% alcohol in here. You're going to be fine. He had like 1 sip anyway. So I did discover, because I packed myself some whiskey, that if you're just going to sip on like some whiskey, an NA beer is like a great chaser to have with that. Like, because you don't like get too messed up. You just get like a nice buzz. And
sure. Yeah, I can see that.
I think that might be my camping combo going forward.
Mm-hmm.
If only NA beer was cheaper than actual beer, it'd be nice. But
yeah, I don't know why you would think that would be the why would it be?
Yeah.
Other than it's missing a key ingredient.
Yeah, it's missing the point. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could just drink beer just for the taste of it.
Yeah.
Or for the fun of it. Like I get something out of it, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like sit with a 6-pack of NA beer and be like, yep, this is what I want. Because
yeah.
I want a little bit of a buzz. Did you do anything else fun in between recording other than?
No, not really. Just keeping busy, I guess. School just started here now, and so that's a adjustment. But yeah, other than that, not too much.
No complaints from the kids yet on school, or adjusting okay?
If anything, it's us, adjusting more to it and being like making sure they're on top of homework and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. That's always a challenge.
Yep. But
at least you get a little bit of like quiet time though now when you work from home, right? It's gotta be nice.
Definitely more productive now.
Yeah. And you're hearing way less K-pop Demon Hunters in the background, I'd imagine.
Mm. Yep.
That's probably good. Or are you secretly listening to the soundtrack without the kids?
No, that's all right. Yeah. So I looked up this thing that you have on yours, speaking of K-pop, because I saw one of them is that.
Yes. So I put this down, and that was the first one I noticed that I was like, I'm gonna have to try and get that for my kid. But yeah, they're launching for some unknown reason. Like this company thinks it's a good idea called Tiny Vinyl, and they're launching a proprietary vinyl size. So keep in mind that vinyl already had your standard 12-inch. There are some 9-inch discs that occasionally get pressed, and then usually for singles you have 7 inches. All existing formats. There's even like the record store day like spoof like 3-inch records that exist and have been made, but this company thinks like tiny vinyl is going to be the next big thing, so they've made their own proprietary 4-inch disc, and then they essentially package it like a CD. And it's gonna have it can do like, I think it was like 3 minutes and like 40 seconds on each side, so it's basically just a 2 single thing. And they'll play on most standard record players as long as you don't have like an auto return for the stylus. It should work. But yeah, they've exclusively partnered with Target on these things. But they're $15 like starting, and it's 2 songs. I don't know that this is going to take off, but yeah, they've got a bunch of artists tied into it. Like there's some Taylor Swift. I saw some CCR, the K-pop Demon Hunter one. Yeah, I just find the whole idea odd. Like I'll probably pick one up just to try. Like that K-pop Demon Hunter one I'll probably pick up for my daughter, but it's just a weird choice when 7 inches exist, and you could easily put those in stores and not have to figure out your own pressing for that. Not to mention, like, if you think about how a record player works, and if you own one, you know that like the weakest parts of the record are generally the outside edge, because they're the most prone to like damage and stuff, and the stylus is way out there. So like if you own a lot of vinyl, you're going to notice that things tend to skip more on the outside edge or the inside edge, because the stylus is going like, there's more draw, like different speeds. So it's hard to get like good sound the closer you get to the center of a record. So why you would choose a format that like focuses solely on like the problem area potentially of a record player, I don't quite get it.
Yeah. I mean, does this work on 33 then?
Or
do you have to have a different RPM on it?
It's got to be 33. I can't imagine these are 45, but I could be wrong. Yeah. I mean, 7 inches are usually 45, so maybe these are 45. But yeah, it's just a weird choice. Like, it's a collector's niche within something that's already, I mean, records are everywhere now, but it's still pretty niche, right? Like, it seems like they're creating a product for a market that didn't need to, that doesn't really exist, in my opinion.
Now, if I could see it if they made the packaging the same and then had somehow figured out a way to make it cheaper like that. Maybe it is just 1 or 2. But I think once you change the packaging and everything, that loses a lot. I mean, the whole thing of vinyl is, they're all the same size jacket and all of that, the artwork. Yeah, and to give it like a bulkier CD-like case is weird to me. And also, I just think that price point is not good. I think if these were 10, it would be like a no-brainer, but like 15 is a lot for 2 tracks. I mean, and granted, a 7-inch vinyl will probably cost you $16, right? But I think the audio quality is going to be better on something like that. Yeah, you would think so.
I don't know. So yeah, right now I've noticed they're just exclusively on Target's website. It looks like they're going to be in stores starting like this end of this month and then in October. I mean, there's some notable stuff on there that's kind of cool. Like I said, there's going to be a Nightmare Before Christmas. There's some like Snoopy stuff. There's all your major artists with like a song or 2, but I just don't know that. I think they're like, in the articles I read about this, and the guy like talking it up, he's like, well, it's really for the Spotify generation. You know, it's like, this is how music is released. They don't do like full, which I get it. Yeah. We're in the age of a lot of singles, right? And eventually maybe those will end up on an album in 2 years. But I also don't think the Spotify generation is like, hey, I need this tiny disc because it's cute and it costs $15. You know what I mean? They're just going to listen to Spotify.
Yeah, right.
And audiophiles aren't going to be after this.
No. Yeah, that's a. Oh. I don't know if that'll take off. Well, especially if it's only in one place too, right? Like you said, it was only Target anyway. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot of heavy lifting on one retailer to make that happen.
Right. When physical media presence in those stores is already so limited. I mean, you're resigned to like basically an end cap. I mean, and I just think like how many people are going to buy this not realizing that it's a vinyl record and then like think it's a CD, because they still sell some CDs. You know what I mean? It's a head scratcher. I see it being a flash in the pan. There's probably an argument to be made for snagging a couple of these because they will disappear. But yeah, as much as I love vinyl, I just can't see this making any real sense.
I mean, I wish they would figure out a way.
Yeah, but
I wish they could figure out a way. Yeah, for like $40 though for vinyl is just too much too.
It is, but I mean, a lot of times like you'll get a full record for 30. You know, so it's like, why pay for 2 tracks when you get the whole thing? But yeah, the cost of vinyl lately has gotten insane. I feel like everything is pushing towards that $40, which is nuts. I was hoping it would kind of like level out a little more following the pandemic, like record resurgence, and like because it was just, the problem then was like pressing plants were just like fully booked. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that can't be the issue anymore, I would imagine.
You wouldn't think so. Yeah, tiny vinyl. Google it, check it out. Probably don't buy it. It's a product nobody really needs. But
well, you just watch. They're going to make a 4-inch platter for those things.
Just a special, like maybe they'll make like a portable one that's like a Discman. Yeah, yes, but I mean, I think that's the one thing they did right was like came out with like kind of a cutesy collectible format, but it still works on like your main machine, which, you know, if they had done the proprietary machine also,
yeah,
that'd have been a death nail, right? So yeah, I'll keep my eyes peeled when I'm in Target later on this month and just kind of check out the package. I'm just curious to see like the packaging in person, but it definitely looks like a CD.
Yeah. Music, I just don't follow it as much anymore either. So like, I wonder, like Spotify, do people even care even in these type of things if you buy it physically that they get MP3s or anything? Right. I mean, I never really did those.
No. Yeah, and those kind of like that used to be always the thing, right? Like when vinyl was first coming back was like, all right, you also get the MP3 download, but it's just like I don't think I bought vinyl in the last 2 years that came with a download code because like you said, it's just it's already online, you can find it. So, and what are you going to put an MP3 on anyway to listen to? It's not worth taking the time to figure out how to get it onto your phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty interesting and bizarre concept. Curious on your DK one. We can get to that later. So Hollow Knight, is that new one?
Yeah, the much anticipated sequel to Hollow Knight. People just went absolutely apeshit over constantly. Where is Hollow Knight? Where is Hollow Knight sequel? Silk Song.
Is it bad that I already thought it had a sequel and this is the third one?
It did come to consoles later, so maybe you're thinking about that.
That could be.
It was on PC only for quite a while, but I did not really enjoy the first one all that much when I tried it. I mean, a Metroidvania sounds right up my alley, but They made some decisions, and the artwork, I just was never jived with it. But, you know, how could you possibly not check out the sequel when there's that much hype, right?
Yeah, this game is sure to be like game of the year, 10 out of 10 on at least a few publications, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it drops within the month. Is that right?
It's out now.
It's out. Okay. It is.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, so I've been trying it on there. I tried on Xbox, and just the input lag through my TV
Really
completely broke it. Like
it's a Metroidvania, right? Like you need precise controls. Okay.
It does. Yeah, it relies on controls a lot. But usually, if you're making a console game, you leave some leeway for that type of input lag.
Right.
Especially on jumps and platforming and stuff.
So it was clear they optimized the PC experience, and getting it onto consoles was an afterthought.
Right. So I couldn't believe it. Like felt like I was messing up. Like this did not seem like it should be happening. That I would get to the edge of the cliff, and then I'd hit the jump button, but instead I'd just fall down.
That sucks.
So I then was like, kind of like, I have to see what the PC version is. If this is like that on there,
yeah,
it'd be. I couldn't believe that would be the case, and it isn't. It's thankfully a lot better on PC, but that also says a lot that they're not even building it for consoles at that point, I think.
Yeah.
So why even put it on a console?
Is it on like everything? Like, is this Switch 2? Is this PlayStation?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I just went through Game Pass because that's what it is. But man, my nephews, all of them are just enthralled with it,
Really?
And I can't stand it. I don't get the appeal. I mean, I do in some regards, but I think it does the genre a disservice.
Okay.
It goes against a lot of the things that I think a Metroidvania is about. With instead replacing it a lot with Dark Souls type mechanics.
Okay. It's
kind of
like
withholding information
elements. Then, if you're making it that difficult,
kind of. It's the thing that gets me is that it's got like the corpse run stuff, and it's got you can only save at certain spots, and then if you die, you lose all your stuff, and you got to go do that. That stuff is okay. That's a decision. I mean, that's a popular thing in a lot of games now.
Right.
I don't enjoy that because I feel like when I play a game, I need to make some progress sometimes.
Right.
I can't spend just a million hours not getting progress on something. And it goes to some really terrible decisions that way, because a lot of the secrets and stuff that you'll find, with a Metroidvania is like, oh, I wonder, I should check this wall, and then you break open a wall and something's there. That's some of the best parts of that type of thing.
Yeah.
And there's usually like currency or something behind there, and it's like, okay, well, that was a good thing. But then you die the next screen over, and all that currency is gone, and you go back there, and there's nothing there. So then it's like you feel like you got ripped off.
Yeah.
Like that secret was like gone now. What you got from that is just gone. And that sucks.
That sucks.
I mean, and you can farm that stuff from enemies, which I guess, that is a Metroidvania thing, is farming resources. But ultimately, yeah. I mean, the bosses are really good from what I've gotten to. But there's just so many decisions that I don't get it. The art's better than the first one.
Sure.
By leaps and bounds, but
that was always the thing. Like, I never played it, obviously, but like that art style was like very cool. But yeah, it's disappointing to hear that, because like, yeah, you do want to like. I feel like that's such a key component to like a good Metroidvania is do the grind, discover the secret, get that power up or get that thing that like substantially improves your gameplay and sticks with you and progresses you. So, yeah.
Yeah. And apparently, from what I've read about it, the two biggest complaints about it is this one. There's benches that's your save points. And in this one, you often have to buy them with the currency that you're farming and finding.
Really?
So even when you get to a save point, which also the map does not unlock, you have to buy the map.
I've heard the map system is terrible in those games. Like I've heard that's the one complaint I've heard from people is like not fans the first time around and like they just kind of seem to keep it. So
yeah. I think that's obviously a choice to do it that way where you
right.
You don't know where you're going. I think they're really precious about their world and their storytelling and everything to trying to be like, we're not going to show health bars and we're not going to, it's got to be so immersive that.
I mean, I can understand that, but like to me, it's like such a sin anymore to like not just have a auto saving like every time you enter a new set. Like games shouldn't do that anymore. Like that sounds almost like Resident Evil level of like, well, here's the typewriter, but go find a ribbon or tough shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly that, and that's the type of stuff where I really grind my gears with it because when you're introducing difficulty just through obscurity of information, a lot of times too, it's not fun, and there's no you're not really grinding too much to get better. I mean, you're grinding some currency to get some things, but overall, it's not like even the Castlevania ones where you're gaining levels and you're doing all that other stuff, Yeah.
So this is probably going to be your game of the year, I take it?
No, it's not my game of the year at all. The combat is fun in some regards. A lot of it depends on like how many hits you've done previously. Like your healing and all that is based on how many hits you build up your healing meter by hitting. And some skills are that way too. It just sucks that you encounter a wall or something that you need a skill to break through it, right?
Yep.
And you don't have any. So then you have to go back to the previous screens and then basically go hit fodder enemies to just get that skill to break the wall. It's like,
that seems like that's just like padding out for the sake of longer run time. I mean, I guess there's some of that in Metroid too, but not like
for like health and missiles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand. I think it's highly overrated for me, and it's not a Metroidvania to me. It's probably a very good action Dark Souls, 2D Dark Souls type of thing, but
at least this is like a prime example of like what makes Game Pass great because you didn't have to shell out extra for this, and like you're gonna get
I wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting to hear. I've heard a lot of praise so far, but I haven't actually talked to anybody who's actually had hands on with it. Mm-hmm. I got some hands on because I was all on like a Shinobi kick after our last episode. I installed that Shinobi Art of Vengeance demo on my Switch 2. And that is much more of like Revenge of Shinobi than Shinobi 3. Like it is very gorgeous art style. Like I like that the protagonist doesn't say anything. There's some cool cutscenes when you start out, but a lot of precision jumping. There's a ton, even in the demo, of like abilities, upgrade routes, combos. So it's a lot to keep track of. And I found myself even in the demo getting to a point where I was just getting like smoked, which was great that I got the demo because like I was gonna buy this thing and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be like too annoying for me, and I think unless I get this thing on a sale, I probably won't pick it up because it's gonna be more frustration than I just don't have like the Twitch reflexes anymore for that kind of stuff.
All right,
but I did really like what I played of it, and I think the art style is like gorgeous. But I don't know. It's got a very big system on like kind of like what you were mentioning with Hollow Knight, where comboing. Well, you can do different upgrades that like different abilities that upgrade in different or build up in different ways, but a lot of it seems to be centered around like parrying or getting combo hits and stuff to like unlock your ultimate moves. So yeah, it's a lot of the same thing where it's like your biggest powers come from you successfully navigating the melee combat, and if you struggle here and there, like it's going to be pretty tough for you.
Yeah. And a lot of those games, even in the 3D world, I mean, the Devil May Cry stuff, it was like, those are fun to get through. I was never the person to be like, I got to S rank this. You know?
Right. Yes. And that is exactly how I felt. And I am with games too. So it's like, I think maybe I did go normal mode. Maybe if I'd gone on like beginner or something, it'd be more casual, but I think it's definitely something that would be worth my time a little bit more. I just don't want to pay the full asking price right now, because I'm sure it'll be on sale. I mean, it's Sega, all their stuff goes on sale. So.
Or you just, wait till a limited run version comes out, and then you can buy that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll get my pre-order in and wait a year and a half for that to show up. So those bastards.
Yeah, that does look pretty good, but it definitely seems like that type of super dexterity type of action game.
Old man reflexes are not helpful in those games. So
right. Well, and that's kind of the argument I got with Hollow Knight too, was they're much younger than me, and they are very much into like Geometry Dash and like all of those like really complex, like very timing based stuff, and it's like
yeah, that's not my thing.
Right.
Yeah. It is cool though that Shinobi is back, so I'll give him some credit for bringing that back.
You know what type of combat does really good for not needing to know the complexities of it?
Is this where we talk about your coin pusher game?
No, this is Soul Calibur.
What?
I think so. We've been playing Soul Calibur 2 a lot. It's on the Switch 2 thing.
Yeah.
And that game is...
It's a button masher's dream.
Yes. You anybody can pull off a good combo, a running streak, and win the match.
Yes.
And it's been a hit with the family because it kind of levels the playing field for the smaller kids. And, the older ones are like, how did I lose? I can't believe I lost to, 6-year-old. How did this happen? And so it's been good in that regard.
Yeah, I think that was what I liked about Soul Calibur and those early entries was, it's a very approachable. I mean, obviously there's a shitload of depth and you can get good, but like if you're just a casual fighter, it's very approachable, which is nice. And you get to play as Link in that one, so that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That usually is what ends up happening. It's just Link versus Link on most battles that I'm watching the kids do.
I like that they kept so many of his moves too, like the downward dash from 2 and stuff. Like he's got some pretty cool moves.
And bombs and bow and arrow, and it's pretty. Yeah, it's cool.
The only downside of like Soul Calibur 2 is like seeing Link like that and then like realizing you never got the Zelda you wanted on the GameCube. And instead we got fucking Twilight Princess at the end of that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to throw shade at Wind Waker, but like I think everybody was expecting that Zelda.
Especially when they had a demo of it like that,
Yeah.
I never really put too much time into Soul Calibur 2. Probably because the PlayStation 2 I would have had at that point, and I don't even remember who the special character was in that. Was it Tekken guy? I don't even remember.
Yeah. Then
it was not anything
there was
that
a Star Wars guy, right? Like I think I have PS3 and I have Darth Vader potentially.
Yeah, I think so. Back when that was novel, and now it's like everything does that.
Now nobody wants a Star Wars character in a game. Have they made where did Soul Calibur end up? Have we had a new one in?
I
couple
think there
generations?
was 6, Soul Calibur 6, maybe?
Okay.
Not so long ago.
Yeah, I kind of just lost track of it after the third one. Seems like that's like destined for a collection, right? Like, why don't we have a Soul Calibur collection?
Right.
And get like
Yeah,
the
I don't
Soul
know.
Edge like arcade version on there too.
Yeah, 6 came out in 2018, and there's nothing
Okay.
since. So
So it has been a while.
yeah,
But I mean, that's kind of how fighting games go, right? Like one comes out and it stays there for 8 years, so you can play it at Evo and every tournament, and
right. Yeah,
well, that's cool. At least you're getting some use out of your Switch Online subscription at that point.
yep. And the other game later, but
Yeah. I actually have been playing a little bit of Soul Calibur 2 as well, but just casually here or there against the PC. So it's
yeah,
a nice addition.
Yeah, they have so far. That's some good selection games that they've picked out for that.
They need to get them out more often, though. Like the trickle is kind of pissing me off, but
yeah,
it'd be nice if that was more like here's this huge library all at once. But the drip feed, I guess, gives you something to like look forward to at directs and stuff. Which I guess it's worth noting that there's a 60-minute direct tomorrow, so stay tuned in 2 weeks when we talk about old news, because I'm sure we'll cover it. What I'm really hoping is that we get the fucking release date for Prime 4 in that one. So I have something to be excited about, and like pre-orders go live. So,
I mean, if it's this year, I mean, it has to, right?
It's gotta be this year. What else do they have?
Yeah.
Air Ride? Fuck that.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about, because they did a whole direct on it, but
a needless direct, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, something that we should touch on too, like we mentioned, we were kind of complaining last time about the PlayStation price hike. I completely missed the news that in August, Nintendo raised the SKUs on all the old Switch models.
Yeah.
So like at $340, who the fuck is going to buy a Switch when it's like $60 more for the new thing?
Yeah.
Well, it's more than that. It's $100 more, but still.
I took that more as like when AT&T raises my plan because they want to get me off of that plan. You know?
We're going to kill this thing as fast as possible.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that we're in like the only console generation that has like reversed every trend in history. Like consoles get more expensive the longer they're around, even if we revise them and make the hardware smaller and like more efficient. So, yeah, wild that I missed that news, but I guess it didn't affect me because I kind of forgot that the Switch existed after the Switch 2 came out. So,
I think they should start putting the game key cards just in a 4-inch case, and then
that's a good idea. Yeah, make it look like a CD.
More collectible. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw there was that thing where like the Preservation Society in Japan like officially announced that like game key cards will not be inducted or cannot be used for preservation purposes. Well, it's like, well, no shit. It's nothing. Yeah. It's a plastic piece of nothing.
So, yeah. It's just got an authorization key or whatever on it. That depends on the server on the other end to understand what that is.
It's so weird because it's like, you know, the Switch is going to be like, that will be my physical console. I will collect physical. And now it's like, I guess I'm just buying first party titles. So
yep.
Whatever. I'll go to Steam for the rest.
Yeah. And I get it. I mean, if it doesn't make business sense to make the carts themselves, put it on an actual cart, maybe not. But you would think, you know, with Cyberpunk, the volume that they're getting in sales, that maybe look at that.
There's a reason. Yeah. Like people want the physical, they want preservation. So maybe just bite the bullet, pay the whatever $18 it is to get the card, and you'll sell some shit. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes moving forward. So I have been noticing, we haven't talked about it in a while because I didn't want to pay the $80 when it came out, but I think we're right around the time now where we're going to see a good discount in the new Monster Hunter game. I've already seen the physical versions being marked down to 60. So I'm hoping here before the year's out, you and I can snag a copy for like $40.
Yeah.
I'm itching to get back into that.
Yeah, that would be good.
At least the opening 50 hours, and then we'll walk away. Like,
yeah. Oh, you have to grind in this game? Oh, shit.
I'm not done. Yeah.
Uh, remember when I said I need to feel like I make some progress in a game? Like, that's usually that's the wall that happens at that.
Yeah, when the progress becomes not fun anymore. That that is, I will say those games are very good at giving you a very nice steady progression feel, and then it just becomes like, oh, I have to like master this shit, and like, nah, I'm good.
Well, yeah, but there are some nights where you're like, I'm working on this set. I want to get this set of armor and all this stuff complete, and then
And
you
you
go
don't get
hunt
the
that
drop.
thing like, yeah, 3 times. That's yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty brutal.
If even if it was like the second time you fought him that day, you were guaranteed a drop or something like that. That would be much better. But
Yeah, like the having to land blows on specific parts of the like critical blows on specific parts of that monster in the heat
yeah,
of battle is always just brutal.
yeah,
But yeah, they got something good. I've heard this one is sold way less. So I'm hoping
hmm.
if Capcom's smart, they'll do a physical on-card port to the Switch too, and I bet that would really
Yeah.
boost and get new players in because everything that they've gotten to run on the Switch is sold well, and Worlds missed it. So I mean, Wilds was cool, but
Yeah. That's what I was, they kind of Monster Hunter World was like the big one where it was like this
yeah,
is a different beast altogether now. And then they kind of had, was it two after that? Rise and then something else maybe that
yeah, Rise and then Wild. Well, there was that expansion to Rise. It was like almost its own thing. Because
yeah.
was Rise the one that was on the Switch?
Yeah, I think so.
And that one was so nice from like a quality of life perspective. Like they made so
Yeah.
much stuff more. It's so funny too because I bought 2 copies of that to play with my son on Switch, and then we never got into it, and then started getting into it on the Xbox. So it's like I didn't even need to buy those physical copies, but yeah,
Yeah. I think this last one, it felt like it was supposed to be the big thing next to Worlds was.
yep,
Well, but it's kind of more so maybe just kind of more like Rise,
right, yeah.
more incremental than, a big
Then
sequel,
the
I would say.
Revolution, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still curious to check it out. I'm sure it'll look gorgeous on the X too.
hmm
So
hmm
I'll have to watch out for a sale. I'm sure it's coming. Capcom can't go that long without a big deep cut on something.
No.
So what's your coin game?
Oh my. This is a survival game with meters that you have to feed yourself and you have to pay bills and things like that. But it's all revolving around dumping your money that you earned doing random jobs around this town into the local arcade. And then you take the tickets that you win at the arcade and you buy stuff at the counter.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes you will need to pawn those off to the pawn shop to
Get
get
more
more
money?
money back. Yes, and that's kind of the loop of the game. I had a decent amount of time with it for a while, but it kind of wore thin now because you have to go back and do the jobs, and a lot of them are physics based. Kind of like be a paper boy, but do it as if you are a gang's beast kind of controls. And it's like, well, I mean, it's fun. It's like interesting and like, oh, this is wild and crazy. But like when you're doing it for the third day, you're just like, I just want to get it done and get the money.
Right.
But
Yeah, the economies of scale on that seem like a losing proposition to like get tchotchkes from ticket sales and get like 10 cents at the pawn shop for whatever shit you get.
Right. This must be a really good arcade because sometimes you make money doing that.
Oh, nice.
As a child, you probably, I thought that was like, why wouldn't people do that? Like turn your money into items, turn your tickets into items. They got to be worth something.
Yeah.
It's only when you're an adult where you figure out the exchange rate on those and you're like, oh.
100 tickets is like 1/100th of a dollar. Like that's not good.
Yeah. Yep. So even when you are really lucky or you win thousands of tickets or whatever at an arcade, they're still way ahead. But it's this game is interesting because a lot of the arcades are replicas of kind of current games too, where they have like the drop the ball thing where you have to click the ball as in the rotating cups.
Yep.
And a few other ones kind of in that regard. A lot of like try to get the ball to roll exactly at this certain spot. And
yep.
And it's like early access. So like they recently added a bingo hall. So like you could go in there and play bingo. And
kind of reminds me of like that Arcade Paradise game a little bit, right? Where it's sort of that thing where it's like a meta world where you're doing like games within games and still trying to like function.
I think I like that one better because the quality of the games. There was a few in there that were like, I'll just go into that game and boot up that game just to go play a couple of the arcade games in there because they were that good. But
and this is just on Steam right now?
I think so. Yeah, I would imagine. We'll see if it ever gets anywhere. I don't know. There's a lot of these type of games where they're just kind of like random open world stuff, and they're kind of growing into like, this one is a single player, but there's like multiplayer ones where it's like, this is role playing. Like these people are living in this town, and one of them is a lumberjack, and that's what he does in this server, and he goes to do lumberjack stuff. And it
sounds like a PlayStation Home.
Yeah, it does, but they're kind of like building those games out to be like that. And they always start as like some like car mechanic simulator or something, and then it's just bolted on to like 5 other jobs, around town. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's interesting. It's interesting where development is on stuff like that.
And then I see, you got X-Files. You been watching X-Files?
I think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're ready for another big run like Supernatural. And I think X-Files might be the one that we're...
Where can you stream that? Is it Netflix?
It's Hulu. Well, even Disney. I think it's on Disney.
Yeah, it'll be the same thing by next year.
Yeah.
So. It's a good series. I have the same issue with X-Files that I have with Supernatural. It's like, it's best when it's episodic. It gets bad when you have like the men with no eyes, and then like Mulder's gone for a season or two. I stuck with that show for most of its run, but it definitely peaked in the first few seasons.
I'm worried that they're too one-dimensional. I mean, obviously it's like, well, one's a skeptic and one's the guy who believes in aliens. It's always been like that, but like, is that pretty much the only one-dimensional thing? Whereas like Supernatural, it kind of really grew it to its own about like the characters themselves. And
X-Files gets tricky too, because like you're gonna have to figure out where you need to work in the films too, because like some of the stuff like Fight the Feud, like some of those like fit between like season runs and stuff. So like you're gonna have to figure out that ordering to make sense of some of that, or build upon it, I guess.
Yep. The crazy thing is, like, we watched the first episode and it was widescreen. And I'm like, there is no way in hell this was a widescreen when this came out in like 1990. It's like they had to have like done something. Like, did they shoot it on film? That would be kind of crazy. A TV show.
My guess is they probably just like mastered it differently for widescreen.
So what they did is they did shoot it on widescreen. Because they were like, oh, laser discs are a thing, and they're starting to do widescreen. They aired it as 4:3, but everything that they shot, they made sure that there was nothing in the frame for widescreen. So in the future, it was like all centered and lined up for widescreen. It's crazy.
It's crazy that they took the time to like do that after the fact. You know what I mean? For a streaming generation and an HD generation. I mean, good on them.
Because otherwise, it was like, if I was doing that, it would be like the booms, the mic booms, like right outside of frame. Well, who gives a shit? It's just going on TV.
Yeah, it's a great series. How many, like 10 seasons? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, that's a whole other thing because like those last two are like way,
Yeah, I got like a
way in the
weird like
future, right?
it came back, yeah. And that's where the movie stuff comes into where you gotta like piece that stuff together. Yeah. Super. I mean, yeah, you talk about another show that's got like almost that level of following. I mean, it's died down some in recent years, but still like people are diehard about that one.
Yep.
Used to be one of my favorites. I watched it every week growing up. It's a good show.
Yeah, I remember watching quite a few, but never religiously, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Nice. Nice. You have to let me know how that goes as you guys progress. And then I see you must have. Well, you beat DK. We talked about that. So you wanted to get into spoilers on that?
Yeah, I guess we can.
It's a
I can edit
spoiler
this out and
warning
put it
for any.
at the
Yeah, for
back.
any.
Yeah.
We could just, skip this part of the podcast if you haven't beat it, I guess. But, or we can put it at the end if we edit it. But, yeah. So, what did you think about the end game, and then the realization that who you thought was the big bad is not in fact the big bad? And
I did like the build up to the point. It really did feel like this is the end of the game. You're fighting that guy. I thought for sure that, yep. Because I was trying to finish it kind of on I think it was Sunday, where I'm like, I'm just going to finish this game this weekend. And then obviously that's not the end of the game. Because surprise, it's a Donkey Kong game because King K. Rool is there.
Yep. And then all the enemies get swapped out, and they all have like Kremlins inside of them. And
I think that was even the more interesting part to me was to, they're basically all unearth that they're the same enemies from Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, and that last hurrah like goes on for quite a while, and that's where like you actually finally run into some challenge. I don't know if it's like overly difficult, but I don't know. It's just hard not to smile being back in like that old like Donkey Kong Country like setup with King K. Rool, and then the Kremlins there and the rail cart sections, and then they do the whole like false ending thing. And the credits roll with all like the King K. Rool stuff everywhere, and it's all jacked up. And you're like, "Oh, this isn't over yet. They're doing the thing." But then what I loved too is not only do they wrap in and dive back into that nostalgia of Donkey Kong Country, but they fully explain the link to New Donk City, because that's where you end
Pauline's there
and taking the final battle, and how Pauline fits into that, and how that level fits into the canon. And yeah, it's like to watch them wrap that up and like tie in two other IPs. It was so cool. Like it was such a fun finish.
Yep. Yeah. The battle at the end could have been a little shorter. It's interesting going through New Donk City in a different way than in Mario. But you really, for a large, I would say the vast majority of the game, you are periodically using one power.
Yeah.
And then at the end it's you better learn how to use those C buttons to switch between them quite a bit.
Yeah. Even then I found myself primarily just doing his normal Bonanza, like Monkey Bonanza, and the elephant. Like that pretty much got me through it. But yeah, that final elephant form is like so cool too, just like how much destruction you can cause. And
elephant by far, I mean, is, especially if you're a completionist, like I was trying to get, I wouldn't move on until I got most of the bananas that I I could, reasonably detect and find, and try to get fossils and get all that stuff. And yeah, the elephant is just like overpowered in that regard because you can boost up the thing where you get the treasure chest and you're just like
complete
demolishing
destruction.
things.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you done any of the new game plus since you've beaten it then?
No. And so I don't know if there's anything new there. There is some new stuff that you have to. Okay. So maybe I do need to go back. I had a decent amount of bananas, and then I kind of was like, well, what do you get when you get all the bananas? And it said you get a different image at the end. And I'm like, well, that's not worth the hours upon hours for that. So I kind of dropped the game. But yeah, if there is extra stuff in there, I do want to see it, I guess.
Yeah, I forget what they call it, but like basically you go back to all the bosses and then like there's a whole new like challenge mode for each of the forms, and it's like a super extended version and pretty difficult. Load up on balloons, you're going to need them. And then you do unlock more abilities, and then they give you actually the option to reset your abilities and like your stat points if you want to like build out in a different way. But yeah, basically you just get souped up versions of all your existing bonanzas, which is kind of cool. I've unlocked 2 of them so far, the first 2. And I don't know. I mean, at some point I'll pick it back up, but I was happy with my experience, and I was ready to see it wrap when it did, because it is a longer game than you expect. And I think you agreed with me that carnival stage was a little long in the tooth and kind of like ground the game to a halt for a bit.
It is interesting, the pacing of the different layers, which overall it felt pretty good because you'll have a pretty long one, and then after that it's kind of like a breezy, you're just here for 20 minutes, half hour type thing, which that was awesome. But yeah, you have one of those that's kind of, the landfill one was kind of like that, and I didn't really like that one that much. And then you go from there to the carnival one, and it was like, okay, let's go here. This seems like we're getting here.
And then you have 4 more hours of game after that. So
the rail car, the one level where you're throwing things to make bridges across all the other things, and the bridges are turning around in a circle. That was probably some of the best game design. Like the coolest thing in that whole game, I thought.
It felt very Breath of the Wild with like you're creating your own path here.
Yeah. Yep. That was really cool. And then after that, for it to go to kind of just like minecart to battle arenas, it was like,
yeah. Yeah. It felt like it was more guided for sure towards the end. But yeah, it's a hell of a game. I love it.
Yep.
Definitely the reason to get a Switch 2.
Yeah. It really builds upon the moons and purple coin thing in Odyssey, I think. I think I prefer.
Yes.
Like the sonar thing, it helps out a ton because you see it, you're like, okay, now I need to figure out what's going on here. And sometimes you just like break through the wall and it's like, oh, I see, you wanted me to go jump through all these hoops for this, but I just
did it my way. Yep. Yeah. There's so many times where you find yourself in like, oh, this was the path, but I totally came in like a hole in the wall that I charged through. So yeah, just the amount of that kind of stuff and freedom in that game, and the way that they like gave you that amount of freedom but still kept it like you don't ever feel like you're breaking the game, but it's just like it's almost like the progression was built with that in mind. And like to have laid the game out in that way, knowing that people were just going to go nuts and still make it feel natural is kind of an amazing achievement. Like when you do weird stuff in like Breath of the Wild, you feel like you're breaking the game or doing something unintended. Here, it feels like the game was built around that more. It's pretty amazing.
I'm glad that they didn't use the gold too much as currency. Well, like even in the early game where it wasn't super, you needed to really watch it too much. Because then I would have been dedicating a lot of my gameplay to smashing every goal to make sure I get gold, and then in the end not needing any of it. Really.
It does a good job too of like when it's coming up to an area where you will need it, like they just have so much gold laying around for you. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Fantastic game.
Now, is there going to be a follow-up game where the Mario and the Donkey Kong are in New Donk City? Yeah. Pauline calls for help or something, and both of them show up.
Oh, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
A new twist on Mario versus Donkey Kong. Right. They're both trying to achieve the same thing. Yeah, I can see it. That is my biggest question is like, what now, right? Like this sets Donkey Kong up to be on par with a Mario as far as like mainline games, where it's always felt like it's just kind of like an after or a secondary thing. Like, I guess you can make the argument like the Donkey Kong Country games took on a life of their own, but it's been a long time since DK's had that, and I think this sets them up to do it. But then what does Mario look like from this?
Yeah, it should be a game where DK like comes to Pauline and they leave to go do something, and it's a giant misunderstanding where everybody thinks that DK took her,
ran off,
and you have to avoid Mario the whole game.
Yeah, and then Mario's the asshole, like he's the villain.
Yeah.
I could see it. Yeah. Well, should we get on to staff picks?
Yeah, I can do mine. Mine's really quick.
Yeah.
It's a YouTube channel that I don't heavily watch it, but I constantly go back to it because they do interesting things. It's called MinMax. It's a lot of the old Game Informer people.
Yeah, Ben Pax is the main guy, right?
Ben Hansen, yeah.
Hansen.
Yeah. And a lot of those Game Informer guys are doing this stuff. Specifically, lately they have a thing on their Patreon called New Show Plus, where they'll come up with an idea for a show, and then they'll leave it up to a vote to be like, should we do another one of these, or do we change it? Does this turn into another completely different thing, right? And more often than not, everybody votes like, yeah, just do another thing, just do something different every single time almost. Periodically, it's the same thing. But they're super interesting because, I mean, obviously it's a gaming thing, but like one of them was going to Valley Fair and ranking all of the rides at Valley Fair.
Nice.
One of them is like going to look at some old house in Minneapolis, and then they just walk through the house as the realtor is showing them all this stuff, and it's stuff really adjacent to, or not really adjacent at all in a lot of regards to gaming, but a lot of the personalities that and obviously in Minnesota, so a lot of connection there too that I
which I've always liked the name. Like the name of the channel is so smart because it's like MinMax, which obviously leans into gaming, but then it's also a nod to the fact that they're Minneapolis based. So pretty clever. Yeah. Are they still doing stuff with Kelsey Lewin, or is she not contributing much anymore? She is. Okay.
Yeah. She has a podcast and she does some of their shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them, like, she was on one where they just went to the biggest greenhouse in Minneapolis, and they just spent the day at the greenhouse. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's a channel I watch too pretty frequently. I agree. It's good, solid gaming and whatever focused channel.
Yep. And their gaming stuff is, I mean, there's not a lot of stuff that will go really in depth and spoilers and stuff. Like if you're really into a newer game, you played through the game, it used to be, there would be like, stay away from the podcast feed next week. We're going to go deep into this one game, but nobody really does that anymore.
Yeah.
But they do. They have like a kind of a game club where they really go into a game and discuss it a lot, talk about the endings of a lot of games. So that's interesting when you finish a game and you're like, okay, I want to hear what other people think about this,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that channel a lot.
Yep.
Mine's pretty straightforward. It's just Catan, but not like, is it Catan or Catan? I don't know how you're supposed to say it.
Well, it used to be Settlers of Catan, and then they just dropped the Settlers of.
It's too much words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this isn't like the full board game. It was just the dice game. Normally when I go camping, like, we'll bring like a Farkle or something, and that's kind of like the pass the time game. But we had this dice game, and I hadn't played it yet, so I brought it, and I think that might be my new like camping fave because like it's a very straightforward game. There's some strategy, a lot of luck, and you're done in like 15 minutes because it's a 15 turn game, and you're done. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you're just building resources, but there's a lot of like realizing you effed yourself over, like didn't use a resource you had on deck, and then like, oh, I'm such an idiot. So yeah, it's just kind of like a brief roll the dice, build a knight, build a village, build a road to get to the next village, and then your point total at the end. So I have noticed that like there are very few close games. Usually somebody just like obliterates somebody else, but it's a lot of fun. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, we played that a few times, and it's a good game. It's good because the people that win was like, I mastered that game. I did it perfectly. And then everybody else knows exactly what they fucked up. Right. There's like one spot like 10 turns ago that was like, that should have done it a different one. Yep.
Or I used the wrong resource, so now I couldn't build that final village and get the 12 points. And I still don't know how people get across all 6 spaces of that map, though. Like, I can't get past. I've gotten into the 4th one a couple times, and on the doors of the 5th. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. The only thing is like, you need the printed maps to play it, and like if you're playing with 4 people, you're blowing through 4 pages at a time. So then it's like, I assume there's probably like some resource on the internet where you can just print new ones, but it's kind of like you're gonna have to drop another $5 and you need more maps potentially too. So
yeah.
But yeah, I like
it. That's one of the businesses keeping laminators still alive, where people just laminate those things and then they
really
do dry erase on top of them.
I didn't think about that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I bet somebody sells those on like Etsy. I should look.
I bet. Yeah.
Fun game though. Like really good, quick, casual game. So I recommend. It's weird too. I brought the board game this time. That's usually my thing. So. But yeah, now I guess we are at our weekend rental. So the weekend rental, if you're unfamiliar, we every episode we pick a game for a given system. Andy and I will play it, give our opinions as to whether we would buy, rent, or burn that game. We went with the GameCube this time, and
is this our first one on the GameCube?
This is our first GameCube. Yeah. And we went with Chibi-robo because it just got brought to Switch Online. And I always like, every time we talk about Chibi-robo, I always kick myself because I've told Andy the story too, but like I bought Chibi-robo from GameStop during the Wii era because it was backwards compatible. I think I paid $18 because the guy at the store recommended it. I think I took it home and played it for like an hour or 2 hours and was like, no, this is not for me. And then I sold it back to GameStop for like $8 store credit, and then now this game is worth like what, $350? So
yeah, it's crazy.
I'm an idiot. But yeah, Chibi-robo, it's
I'll let you explain what this game is.
It's a quirky game where you play as a tiny robot who's been brought into the home to make everyone's lives happier, and your whole goal is to give joy to people, which largely centers around doing menial tasks like scrubbing dog prints off the floor or throwing trash away. And then as the game unfolds, you realize that you're like in a highly dysfunctional family where the very well-endowed wife hates her husband and thinks he's a deadbeat, doesn't pay the bills, doesn't have a job. So the husband just basically lives on the couch because she's kicked him out of the bedroom. They have a daughter who won't speak and wears a frog hat and only talks in rivets. And
she's 8, I think, right? Yeah.
8? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That kid's on the spectrum for sure. They haven't touched on that, but that's definitely happening. And then the game goes through like a day-night cycle. And then at night, the toys come alive in this house for some reason. The The foyer is occupied by a militant group of hard-boiled eggs. And then, yeah, it's all centered around this robot and very short play cycles. And you're always dragging this power cord behind you as Chibi-robo. So everything's based on like how much energy level you have left. So you're constantly like having to recharge and like plug into sockets in the wall. It's a bonkers game. What it really feels like to me is like something that should have come out in the Dreamcast more than anything.
Yeah, now that you say that, does seem like some experimental Dreamcast stuff going
on. I think my biggest complaint with having fun in this game is that constant timer, right? Like you can upgrade your timer, but you're only getting 15 minutes in a run. And that doesn't include how much time you've had to stop and plug in and recharge. And then every time you recharge, it asks you if you want to save. So it's like all this tedious shit. And then my biggest argument against this game is that the text scroll is so slow and there is no skipping it. And usually I get frustrated, so I'm like mashing the button to get through the conversation. And inevitably I restart the conversation again. And I just like want to throw my controller.
You want to hear that again?
Right. Yeah.
This might be the last game that Nintendo did that was doing that shit. But there was a solid stretch where everything had to be like that. And
yeah. Oh, and it's got the annoying, like,
terrible for that.
It's got the annoying, like, Animal Crossing type speak too, right? Like, where everything's just like, it's like, Jesus. Like, I don't want to listen to this. I don't want to read this. Like, just let me play the game.
That's another reason I hate Hollow Knight. But yeah, the plug-in mechanic is very, very Nintendo-like, because I mean it's just a stamina bar for the most part.
Yeah,
you know. But there's a lot of like, I also felt like where you start specifically and where you go from there, it felt a lot like some early levels in Katamari.
Sure.
Where you start in a kind of a small, living room or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're outside and picking up a whole bunch of stuff. This kind of also has that feeling.
Yeah.
Because you are exploring other parts of the house. And that stamina stuff does start coming into play because, I was outside and there's no plugs outside, so you really have to be on your shit to make sure you get back. Obviously, there's not much of a penalty,
right?
If you run out. I do appreciate that they wrap you up in bandages or whatever if you run out of battery, and then you play that session just wrapped up in bandages.
Yep.
But some good touches like that are really good. These days, this game doesn't seem as novel because I think there's a lot of Steam games that are doing this type of thing. I mean, obviously, for the last probably 15 years, there's been this isn't a traditional game, right? There's like some weird quirkiness to it. Plus, there's like specific things that you're doing that it's outside of normal gameplay. But when this came out, I can't imagine there was anything really like this.
No, it was a pretty oddball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much time it sounds like you probably got further than I did. I put about 7 hours in. I haven't gotten outside though. I've gotten every bit of the house.
Okay. See, I don't know if I've gotten everywhere in the house. Gone to the foyer, the kitchen, and that might be it.
So you haven't been to the basement or upstairs yet?
No.
How did you get outside?
There's a sticker on the window, and if you shoot it with the blaster,
okay,
it creates a hole in the window that you can crawl out.
Yeah, I know which sticker you're talking about. I'll have to try that. I sat on the blaster forever. Like I didn't buy it until just recently. So that's been unlocking more stuff for me. And yeah, that's kind of a core element of this game is like doing the things to get like the hearts to get better battery and then collecting coin so you can buy better upgrades. So you like unlock, a helicopter, a blaster. Um, I do think it's kind of cute that like a lot of your built-in power-ups are just like things you found around the house. So like you take the father's toothbrush and now you can like clean, or you steal a spoon and now you can garden. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
funny in that way. It's just also like the humor is very good. Like the egg army is funny. Like that weird Japanese like Buzz Lightyear type robot who like stays in character is funny. But then like this incredibly dark tone of like this dysfunctional family where like the daughter's like having to pretend she's a frog to like escape the reality of her parents hating each other.
Yeah.
Like,
It does feel
sad.
like an 80s movie where like the robot, like one of those 80 movies where like a robot made the family come together in the end, where it was like,
Right.
oh, we went to all,
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a lot of charm and character, and I think that's what the game really thrives on. Because it's not so much the gameplay. I don't particularly find any of the gameplay super fun. Like it's more of like it's more about the grind and the progression and then unlocking the story elements than it is having fun playing the game. But it is like
and
it is weird.
exploration.
Right. The exploration's cool.
Yeah.
It is funny to like be playing a game though where it's based on exploration and like you'll want to go check out this thing that you know is the next objective, but then you're like, God damn it, the dog left footprints here. I have no choice but to stop and clean these all up.
Yeah.
Like it's my duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and I mean, you can wander any direction, and it's pretty chill. Where it's just like, well, yeah, you just kind of go do. There's not. I mean, there's places to go to progress certain things,
yeah.
but for the most part, the day-to-day stuff is just kind of like, well, go do whatever, right?
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if this has changed my outlook on it. I feel like I'm probably going to go back and slowly chip away at this game and finish it because I'm guessing it can't be too long. But I think my initial assumption of selling it back to GameStop was the right call because this is still not a game for me. It definitely wasn't when I played it back in the day. I think it's neat as a novelty now and like a weird look back at like a wilder time in gaming, but it feels more like manual labor the game than it does anything that feels truly satisfying in a video gamey way.
Yep. This playing this just really brought me back to like thinking about Tinykin and thinking about how awesome that game was. And
yeah,
I mean,
I didn't even think about that.
That's kind of this game with Pikmin, right?
Yep.
Mixed in too, but it definitely has that feeling where you're traversing a house and in the same ways.
Yeah. Yeah, and Pikmin almost does feel like the like more mainline successor to what this game was doing, right? Because yeah, it's a lot of the same vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just without all like the management of like a million other things on screen. But
yeah,
it's a very trippy game. I don't know that it's held up. I mean, it's held up, but there's just something that doesn't click with me on it.
The camera does not hold up.
Yeah, why is it that you?
Cameras.
Yeah, you have to stop to move the camera. Like, really, you have to like stop in order to pan the camera the right way because like there is no like panning it on the move, and that kind of sucks. It's also very touchy. Like for a game that relies a lot on platforming, it is difficult. Like there's no jump button, right? It's like run into something, and then he'll auto jump, or like you have to position yourself just right to like get the prompt to be able to climb up like a power cord. That stuff is frustrating. I think it could be made a lot better.
Yeah.
So I struggle with the controls a good amount. I do like enjoy some of like the twists, like the like there was that Ziplash Chibi-robo game that came out, like where it was a side-scrolling game. Like I like some of the twists where like you go down the sink and like now you're in like a side-scrolling game instead of like a 3D game. Kind of neat to see that. Yep. But it doesn't really do anything to like break up what the core gameplay is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that part never goes away. I mean, there's combat too, which I would say is probably even not good. You know, the blaster and all that stuff, and yeah. But overall, I mean, you're just kind of wandering around doing stuff, and with a meter basically saying like you can't go too far without getting back to a plug. That's kind of the game.
I was looking at the history and the development on this because it was like, well, who made this? Like, it wasn't obviously like Nintendo. They published it, but the company that did it, like, this was their
I didn't know that.
third game ever, and probably the most notable one in their early career. But then they ended their career with that Ziplash game. Like, that was the last one that they worked on, and like the studio is defunct now. So
really,
kind of interesting. But yeah, it was just like a third party. It must have been like a HAL type situation where they just worked closely with Nintendo.
Sure.
So
it's surprising that they were the ones making that. Ziplash just seemed like it was like, well, this is just we made a platforming game,
Yeah, we want to use that chibi character again,
Yep.
Yeah. Well, what do you think you give this on the scale then, like of a buy, rent, burn?
I was having a good time, and I think I'm going to do some more in it. I could see in retrospect, like in today's climate, like there's a lot of games that are doing this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think for what it was, it's pretty good. I'm not going to give it the most glowing buy, but I think it's going to be a buy for me.
Okay. I don't think I can go that far. I'm gonna give it a rent or a buy from GameStop and sell it back to them, maybe in this case.
And then regret not owning it now.
Yeah, not because I want to play it, but like, damn,
yeah,
put $400 on my shelf. It should be experienced by everyone at least once, and there's enough here to have a bit of fun. And I do think I'm gonna go back and finish it. I'm just gonna be more casual about it and not grind out like a couple hours at a time like I was doing. Yeah. It's such a weird game. It's such an of the time game.
The family stuff really was the really surprising part. Yeah. I mean, it was like, this is really out of left field what I expected from this game.
Yeah. Yeah. Part housekeeper, part psychologist, I guess.
Yeah.
I also felt a little guilty because, like, the whole time it's like the dad just spends all their money on like comic books and toys, and I was just like looking around my game room, and I'm like, oh, I'm the dad. Like, yeah, I just haven't been kicked to the couch yet. Yeah, fun one though. I'm glad we got to check it out.
Mm-hmm. And it fits this format. It's like the type of thing where it's like I can play it and be like, "Yep, we got that game. We know what it is.
I understand what it's about."
Loop. Yep.
One question.
There's only a few of those on GameCube.
Yeah, that Sarge from the hard-boiled egg thing, like they gave him a very Germany like raw accent, right? Like,
yeah.
So are they like Nazi eggs, or we're not sure.
I know they were eggs, but I could just not stop thinking about the old McDonald's
the McNuggets.
Yes.
They're not hard-boiled eggs, they're just very dried out stale nuggets. I like it. Now that you mention it, I don't think I can unsee that now. That's funny. I love it.
But
I guess that's another one.
That's another one in the books. Hopefully they bring out some other cool GameCube games.
Yeah, we can get Cubivore next, right?
Mm-hmm. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Get all the rare ones, get all the expensive ones on there.
Yeah.
Which is basically every GameCube game.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Even the basic ones, right?
Yeah. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. You can follow us on Twitter, and we have email at weekendrentalpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you check out the Patreon Geekade Patreon, because we do a video podcast about movies. on there. So until next time, be kind, rewind.